episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Tuesday, June 30th, 2020, and I'm quarantined again, fellas. Yeah, it's not great. My wife had a COVID exposure at work, so I will be stuck at home for the next 2 weeks in the self-quarantining. I'm holding off getting tested because I feel fine and I'm lazy. So
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, if you're quarantining yourself, then you don't really need to get tested. It's if you go out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I feel totally fine. She feels totally fine, but allegedly there was a mouth breather somewhere. Taking it to the internet, we've got a question about this from Hardo Hive member Jarrett Harlow. So taking it to the internet super early in this episode, before the stories even start. He says, big question for you guys and the listeners. Say your significant other tests positive for COVID. She has no symptoms.
You divorce her.
Neither do you. Yeah, maybe. And neither do
No,
you.
of course not.
You go and test negative yourself. Is it wrong to treat your 14-day quarantine like a vacation bender?
No, not at all. I was joking. I told my wife that if she gets quarantined, I'm diving right in there with her because it's like we die together, ride together, die together.
That was in your.
No,
I remember you guys when you guys did your nuptials. That was.
It was the vows. If any of us gets any sort of disease of any kind, the other one purposely.
If we succumb to a pandemic, we'll do it together.
I was curious when you read that because I was like, I don't think Mark has a lawyer, but it was very thorough vows. And
if I get diabetes and lose a leg, she's got to lose a leg.
It makes a lot more sense now.
The whole nine. But no, Will, it's that makes total sense. If you're quarantined and you're a good quarantine boy and girl and you stay inside, get you some Instacart or whatever delivery service you have, or make your one run to the store and get a bunch of booze and food and stay inside and bed.
Instacart, it works for a lot of people. And cheers, Jarrett. I will be joining you for the next.
Yeah, you got no beef, bro. If you guys are quarantining, just get down. Have a little party. Drizzly, they deliver booze to your house in a lot of states. It's amazing.
Now your wife might want to laugh because you've told everyone she's pregnant. So, but you, yeah.
Oh well, she's not. Yeah, I mean, it's a party for one. Unfortunately for her,
does that make you exceptionally mad? The fact that she's pregnant and some guy was just there.
Oh, I mean, I was definitely. Well, of course, you get very protective. I feel like in this situation. So of course, like I was upset. I called whoever this person is a mouth breather already on this show.
Yeah,
my terminology is going to stay the same pretty much.
Might be best if you stay inside, away from this mouth breather.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Shit happens. Just everybody keep your head on a swivel out there. Fucking Corona everywhere. We got all the major stories today, and I'll start it off with the St. Louis couple. So by now, you guys have seen thousands of photos of a short man in a pink polo and his taller wife barefoot in nautical casual clothing is how I describe it, open carrying firearms, and at least the wife is pointing them at protesters who are walking by the front of their very castle-esque home inside a gated community in St. Louis. You guys have seen the pictures, right?
Yeah, I saw the video too. Pretty intense.
Oh, the video, right. The video. I feel like the stills are making it. The video's intense, but it's just kind of like screaming and chanting.
He's got like an assault rifle and she's a handgun. Is that correct? Or
that's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
You brought up a good point there too, Will, because I mean, how close do they live to the Mississippi? I mean, like I feel like not a lot of people have. Do you have people have boats on the Mississippi? I feel like I don't know. They do have that nautical look.
Yeah, definitely. They look like they're like coming out of a Nautica, discount store or something.
Yeah, their house looks amazing. Their house really makes the photo. It's got like columns.
Right. I mean, no, they look incredibly rich. Yeah, it's like a castle. And the one woman, she's holding her pistol, Mark, that you pointed out. It looks like a 380, and she doesn't know how to hold a gun. She's holding it like a water hose that she could kill somebody with. And then she's just like screaming at protesters who are encroaching, I guess, on the edge of their lawn. I mean, the protesters were yelling at them, whatever. They walked out with guns.
I mean, their house is like the size of the Chaz.
It's huge. It's a mansion. Anyhow, it probably doesn't surprise you to find out that the couple are actually a personal injury lawyer, a husband and wife duo named Mark and Patricia
Best
McCloskey.
kind of lawyers.
I heard about this. I heard they were both lawyers. I didn't know it was personal injury.
Most well respected.
They could get clients. They could get clients by shooting them.
Oh, they could. Yeah, I guess if they wanted to drum
if it's
up
a stand your
business.
ground state, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
they could shoot them and then hire them.
Oh, no, actually, no. Sorry. We'll get into it. They could not have broken the law at all in this situation, it turns out, in Missouri. So they felt it was necessary to threaten the protesters with firearms. Of course, they were walking past their home on the way to the mayor's house. So they were protesting the mayor, who lives in the same gated community, because she had a very shitty performance recently, doxing several protesters last week. Whoops. And then several other alleged questionable decisions that the mayor's made. So anyways, protesters, 500 of them, walking. They break the gate through the gated community, walk past these people's lawn towards the mayor's house. This is where the scene goes down.
I thought they were defending a museum when I first saw.
I know. You thought it was like, yeah, their house is so big. You thought it was like a
yeah. I thought
building.
These museum security guards are dressed weird.
It does look like a museum for sure. That's what I'm saying with the columns.
Well,
it doesn't look like a house.
You know what I realized when I thought that? I was like, this is how you know if you've never been like super rich. You didn't even conceptualize that could be a house.
I didn't even know they made bricks
that's what I'm
that
saying.
big.
If the house is that big, why didn't they have the help in quotation marks with the guns out there?
Yeah, no shit, right?
Well,
Maybe,
because
get
the guy bought that rifle, and you think when you buy that rifle, you're just looking for an opportunity to use it, and it's very rare that you get one. So it's a big day for him.
Also, as I was alluding to earlier,
Other than
really
hunting.
was impossible for this guy to break the law. So I think he was excited about not only showing off the sweet firearm, Pat, but also police are continuing to investigate this incident on Portland Place, that's the street, as a case of trespassing and fourth-degree assault by intimidation, as in the protesters were assaulting the homeowners for intimidating them.
Time out though. If they did break down a gate and go into a gated community, that's not okay. That's trespassing.
Okay, but
right?
it's directly on this one house, I guess, or maybe they committed the crime. The 500 protesters committed the crime on the entire neighborhood. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, sure. Also, a local law professor said that the McCloskeys are protected by Missouri's castle doctrine, which if their house looks like a castle, and they're protected by the doctrine which allows people to use deadly force to defend a private property.
To defend
such
a
as their own
castle-sized house.
Yes.
Yes, the castle doctrine. Yes, we get it.
This was essentially just an unruly parade, right? Were these people threatening? Were the protesters threatening the couple?
No, it was
directly?
a protest. So they're calling for the mayor to resign. And they're protesting. They're doing protest shit. They break down the front fence of the gate to get into the private neighborhood. They walk past the house. They're banging drums, throwing shit everywhere.
What are they trying to do? Were they trying to get to the mayor's house? Did they know the mayor lived there?
Yeah, they're going to the mayor's house.
They were going to the
500
mayor's
protesters
house. Okay,
going to the
But were
mayor's
they
house.
threatening the Gateses? Is that what they're
Well,
doing?
right. I mean, they're walking by the McCloskeys.
No.
McCloskeys,
It's
sorry.
it's a gated community.
Gated community.
Once they
And
break into the gated community, which the mayor lives in,
The McCloskeys are on the way to the mayor's house. Okay,
This is like-
500 people walking by. But the
look,
lady.
this is like the equivalent of like that naked guy in Florida that was on meth running down the street naked, terrorizing everyone in that neighborhood. 500 protesters is a lot of protesters for your gated community. That's a lot.
It's noted. Like it's understandable to get nervous.
Yes.
Right? With 500 people banging shit and walking by and wanting to yell at your neighbor. But the lady looked like she was having a nervous breakdown with that pistol in her hand, and that's a little dangerous.
Unfortunate outfits and faces on those people, the Ken and Karen in this scenario.
And
Unfortunate.
she also had her finger on the fucking trigger the whole time, which is very dangerous.
That is dangerous. Yeah.
I'm just curious.
maybe-
When do you leave the house? Are you see them coming by and do you honey, get the guns? And then what did they do where they were like, it's time we take a stand?
No. I don't know. They walk out barefoot and do what they did, and she had a fucking breakdown. She shouldn't have been holding a gun with that face. It was very.
It looked like they
nerve-wracking
should have
for
been holding
everybody.
Tom Collins's, in the tall, skinny glasses with the outfits. they
Right,
wear. That's what
probably.
I'm-
Drinking and shooting, not good.
Yeah.
Matt Gaetz and many other conservatives are saying that this ultra-rich lawyer couple are all of us as they defend their mansion with firearms from people walking by on the street. But something tells me that the actual issue is that they're literally none of us besides the ultra-wealthy.
Yeah.
And they have no idea how to act when confronted with reality. They literally live in a castle and are using the castle doctrine as their defense for shitting their pants in front of the entire nation. I don't think they're like all of us, honestly.
Yeah, I don't like Gates saying that because at this point in my life, I just know I'm never going to be that rich. You know what I mean? I thought I would
just
get
by
there.
socioeconomic alone, right?
I'll never have that house. It'll never look like I'm defending a museum.
I've had to more often than not be involved in the public urination laws as opposed to the castle doctrines.
Those
Those
the
are
castle
important laws
doctrine's
for you, Mark.
unrelatable for a lot.
It's very unrelatable to me, this castle doctrine.
Right.
I peed on a grocery store once. That's the closest I've gotten to the castle doctrine. The castle being the grocery store.
Yeah. Well, I'm not like hating on the fact that they have a castle, can afford a castle, all that. That's fine. But I just think that like this being the most relatable couple of all time is a weird thing that a lot of people are going for because I don't relate to them at all.
They're not relatable now.
Yeah.
But I understand why they were nervous, especially, in the
Well,
community.
of course, but whatever. I mean, the law's on their side. I mean, I don't understand what the big hoopla.
The law's not going to help them if 500 people charge their house. Well, yeah.
Personally, hey, if you're scared, I'm waiting inside the house. You know what I mean? I
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, no. In this situation, I mean, it's okay. I don't have a problem with people displaying firearms. I'm a gun owner myself. But like the thing is, why are you going to point it at people?
Right.
If you're going to come outside.
That's what Pat's saying. You're gonna get people more interested in fucking with you if they can see you in the front yard with the guns.
Also, this is stupid. They definitely, with a house like this, have roof access. What kind of training do they get that they're going to take the same level ground as the protest? You take higher ground, you idiots.
I'm sure they have 10 employees that live there part-time, if not full-time. Why didn't they just have... I don't know why they didn't have anyone else out there with guns while they were inside with their guns.
All solid points.
Yeah.
The staff and the terrorists all should have been used to their advantage.
Yeah.
And that's just poor tactical planning on their part. Another reason why it's the whole scene is very questionable.
If you're going to make your house look like the White House, practice like the White House does and put snipers on the roof, you idiots.
Be a professional, McCloskey's. Gosh.
Stupid, man. Stupid.
Oof. Now they're a meme.
That guy's never felt shorter. All right, guys, on to everyone's favorite topic, abortion.
Oh, God.
Fun
Nice.
one. We got to talk about it, though. Yesterday, guys.
We're going from protest to abortion.
Right
Awesome.
through. That's the kind of service you get on Hard Factor. We don't shy away.
Hey, tomorrow's What the Fuck Wednesday, right?
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, but it's mostly going to be, it's a kid touching episode, unfortunately, guys. I looked at the notes. Yeah. So, hope you're still listening. Yesterday, the Supreme Court blocked a controversial Louisiana abortion law that would have closed nearly every clinic in the boot. It was a 5-4 ruling, guys. It really shocked people. And what shocked people specifically is that Chief Justice John Roberts sided with the court's 4 liberal justices to block the law. And it gets a little bit more complicated from there because the Louisiana law, right, that they struck down is an almost exact word-for-word replica of a Texas law, which required that doctors have admitting privileges at a hospital within 30 miles of an abortion clinic, with most admitting privileges being subsequently denied. So essentially it's like a loophole to disallow abortion clinics, more or less.
Can we just call Chief Justice John Roberts what he is?
What's that?
A lib cuck. Can we just get to?
We can't.
He has been going left.
We can't.
A lot recently.
This last session, he has been really on the left side of things. But previously, he was on the right. Roberts is this guy is hard to pin down.
I'm pointing out that he's gone left, I think, 3 or 4 big rulings in a row.
Well, the
On this
DACA
last
thing,
week,
yeah. So, but guys, the beautiful part about the law is that theoretically there's no politics in it. It's just logic. And Louisiana... See, this Louisiana bill, right? They put this bill forward, this law forward, after Texas put it forward. So they saw Texas get it passed, and then before the Texas law had an opportunity to go to the Supreme Court to be questioned, Louisiana put their law forward. So when it went to the Supreme Court, it was struck down, right? So the Texas law was struck down, and that was struck down because Anthony Kennedy was the swing vote striking it down. Here's the interesting part. John Roberts, on that vote, the Texas vote, he sided with the state of Texas.
Really?
Right.
So he's changed his thoughts after Kennedy made that ruling.
So this is what gets kind of legally interesting, and I'm going to get to that. So Kennedy sided to strike it down. Roberts sided with the state of Texas to let it stand. Then Kennedy resigned, and we got squeeze buddy Bart O'Kavanaugh, as you guys remember, which everyone thought, oh, okay, now we're in a lock here. But Roberts cited precedent, which is super interesting. So Roberts said essentially, hey, we already voted this down, even though I was on the other side of it, but I respect the court's decision, so I'm going to side with precedent.
I think Roberts may have been brainwashed, abducted by aliens. One of those things.
He's just he just loves the law, bro. Letter of the law. The Louisiana law imposes a burden on access to abortion just as severe as that imposed by the Texas law. For the same reasons, therefore, Louisiana's law cannot stand under our precedents. This is justice. Roberts, and then he went on to say that he still believes that the Texas case was, quote, wrongly decided, and then he voted to strike down the Louisiana Riots solely because of precedent.
Well,
Did he just get like an adorably cute granddaughter in the past year?
You got to follow the letter of the law that he's the Supreme Court Chief Justice. He should do that of anybody. I also saw where people were like, a lot of conservatives were like, are they coming for the Second Amendment next? And it's like, I mean, probably not. You know, that's a big jump.
Yeah, that would be incorrect logic because he would be protecting what already exists in our Constitution. Anyway,
I don't think the Second Amendment's in any sort of jeopardy.
let's just not get into it, guys.
It seems like a weird jump.
Yeah.
But
you
guys,
brought up abortion.
Well, I had to.
Right. I mean, we're going everywhere. We're going
Yeah.
everywhere on this episode. The whole Bill of Rights is open on this episode.
Let's take it to the internet.
All right.
Dan Rather says, Chief Justice John Roberts is now ruling with the liberals to uphold abortion? ? I can imagine a brisk market developing for Roberts' voodoo dolls on conservative Etsy.
Yeah. Where does Dan Rather want you to buy your shit?
I don't know. Is there a conservative
what's
Etsy?
the left version of Etsy?
That would be a terrible Etsy.
Dan Rather, who lives in Austin, we're gonna track your ass
We're
down.
gonna
Dan
get
Rather.
you, Dan
We're
Rather.
gonna get you, Dan Rather.
Is he Ted Koppel? Are they the same guys?
They're very different guys.
Yes, they're the same. They're the same people.
Yeah,
same
one
exact
is handsome, one is ugly, one has ratings, one does not.
Oh, ouch.
Well, I mean, they both are retired.
By the way, Ted Koppel's show, like, what was it? Like Hardline or Nightline? I never knew what the fuck the show was. It just switched to just a show about prisons for a long time, but it wasn't I don't know.
He's the two guys that were.
He's his Koppelganger.
Yeah, what's up with TikTok, bro?
Okay, I have a TikTok double for you. For those of you that don't know what TikTok is or refuse to learn about it, I'm going to tell you. It's a Chinese video sharing social networking service or app owned by ByteDance that was founded in 2012. It became the most downloaded app in the US in October of 2018. It's so big they hit 1 billion app downloads in 2019 and recently got Kevin Mayer to be their CEO from his active role. They poached him as the chairman of Walt Disney International Streaming Services. So they poached the number 3 at Disney to become their CEO. They're like pretty much the biggest app in the world.
Hey,
right
that
now.
seems like a corporate tie to a nation. That seems like okay.
That's
Talking
not
about
China run.
Well,
China.
You know what's open right now, Willie? Is Beijing Disney World.
That's what I'm saying. This sounds also
Conflict of interest.
This sounds like a lot of people in bed with a lot of people.
What the hell, China? So what's going on with the juggernaut from China? Nothing good in my update. Apparently, TikTokers, as they call them, are using a saying, I had pasta tonight. What does I had pasta tonight mean, you ask?
Like they're saying I had pasta tonight in their TikTok videos?
Yeah, is it that they are carb loading for a full day of dancing on TikTok?
Takes a lot out of you.
Right? Pasta's good for that.
Is it
No, it's not. It's not literal, guys. I had pasta tonight is code for I want to commit suicide.
After a bowl of pasta?
What?
From abortion to suicide.
Wait, Mark, come on, back up. Wait, so this is a Chinese spyware app that people are using code to admit that they have mental health?
The young Zoomers are admitting they have mental health, and they're using a phrase "I had pasta tonight," where the origins are iffy, but it might be from a popular poem that said, "If you're suicidal, don't say this." Don't. So I had pasta tonight is code for I want to kill myself. Other expressions circulating like I finished my shampoo and conditioner at the same time might mean the same thing. So what the fuck is going on here, Zoomers? It's great that you're admitting you have a problem with mental health, but what's with the pasta and shampoo? How about you say, hey guys, I'm feeling awfully depressed today, and it has nothing to do with what I've been eating or my overusage of hair products in the shower. How about that?
This is concerning all around.
It's very concerning.
I mean, I don't feel better really anytime after a shower and an Italian dinner.
Why do we need codes? Pat, it came from a poem. They took it and they out of context, and now in context it's suicide. Taking it to the internet, at @X_Amberlynn said, saw a TikTok about a girl saying her mom just made her favorite pasta. Not knowing what it's about, I went to the comment section, and everyone's giving her reasons to stay, as in live. One comment said, have you heard your child's laugh yet? As in a term to why you shouldn't kill yourself.
Oh, okay.
That's fucking stupid.
This is why we need our interns to educate us on what's going on with Zoomers, guys.
We're getting Zoomer education next week. Also, like before I go I understand that Barstool has grown their TikTok presence largely, and I'm trying to understand. Like I saw another article about like
I thought it was
TikTok
just dancing
there, huh?
I thought it was just dancing, like little dance.
Is it just dancing? Or
No,
there,
I
like,
mean you can
any...
do comedy. It's like there's no limitations to it besides like a minute or less.
There are
You can
some
do a
limitations. You can't use the auto blow on there.
No, I'm saying
Yeah,
you
true.
can't use the auto blow. Also, I had seen like, is there any like weird stuff about where your videos go if you post it there?
I don't know, but a lot of these people are just like in bed and they have their covers over their head and they're like, I have a new pasta recipe I like, and then that just means they want to kill themselves.
That's terrifying. I get
it's really bad. It's really bad. But again, we need the Zoomers to educate us because I see like an I had pasta for dinner last night post, and I'm liking it and saying, wow, that sounds delicious. Good for you.
One of my favorite foods,
my friends, is encouraging someone to
was
jump
it
off
homemade?
a bridge. Yeah.
Was it gnocchi?
So look, guys, if you need or know someone that does need help, please call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, which is 1-800-273-8255. And enough of the euphemisms or whatever, analogies, Zoomers. Just, it's great that you're admitting you have mental health, but just say that.
Your mental health is more important than anything else. If you've got problems with it, take it seriously.
Please take it seriously. Suicides are up like 60% amongst younger people in the past decade. Next TikTok story is no one's going to know if anyone in India is eating pasta or dancing because India has banned TikTok because they're pissed at China. You guys might remember a story I did like last week or the week before.
Like it seems a little bit aggressive with all of the stuff you mentioned in the first story. So.
Right. Well, India's pissed at China because remember, 20 to 30 Indian soldiers were beaten within an inch of their life and then left to freeze to death on the India-China border in the mountains by Chinese soldiers. So yeah, India remembers that. I don't know if you guys remember, but India clearly
it was like
does.
a week ago. Yeah.
This is just really
and they said,
tough.
fuck you, China.
This is a tough beat for all the TikTok users because if you guys ever watched a Bollywood film, the Indians can really shake a leg.
Dance their asses off. Plus, there's like over 1 billion Indian. This is not great for TikTok. But India's Ministry of Electronics and Technology released a statement Monday saying they are banning the use of 59 Chinese apps because the compilation of these data is its mining and profiling by elements hostile to national security and defense of India, which ultimately impinges upon the sovereignty and integrity of India, is a matter of very deep and immediate concern. Blah blah. So basically, they're saying they're spying on us. To which I say, it's too late, India. China already has everyone's data, and TikTok just got like a top 5 guy from Disney, so they're not going anywhere. So let your people watch the sick dance videos.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like where this is going, where everybody's spying on each other through their apps.
That's too late.
And then now we're gonna have like nationalized internet if everybody has to like put up walls around apps and shit. This is bullshit. Just stop spying on it, or everybody spies and everybody agrees to it.
That's why we don't want Huawei to get 5G, but this is probably bad for any Abacus apps out there.
There is no privacy. Just ask Ted Kavinsky.
Well, you could also just ask John McAfee instead of going to the Unabomber.
Yeah, you could ask McAfee too. Just write Ted Kavinsky. And now, before we move on to Will's story, which I believe is once again bad news from, you know what, you'll find out in a minute. I'm not going to say from where. But now I need you to go to www.predicted.org/promo/hardfactor20, create a quick account in a few minutes, and deposit at least $20. That is, if you want a free $20, no strings attached, so that you can gamble on the news and make some money. Make your own stimulus check, as I like to say, right? The market I like today is what will be the popular vote margin of victory in the 2020 presidential election. So that means it's a banded market. It's the popular vote, not the Electoral College. What will it be? The range I like best for this market is the Democrats to win the popular vote by more than 10.5%, which is the highest band for them. Right now, that is the most popular one at yes for 20 cents, meaning you can buy no for 80 cents. And if the Democrats don't win the general election, the presidential election by more than 10.5 percentage
which would be
points,
a blowout,
which is an insanely high number. You're thinking that's like 60.5 to 39.5, obviously a few percentages to write-ins and third parties, but just 60.5 to 39.5 and adjust, that's unheard of. Then you make 20 cents a share, which is about 25% gain, or exactly 25% gain on your money. So if you know a better way to make 25% gain on your money,
solid stake.
I don't know. Then why you'll probably have the castle doctrine. But anyways, go to www.predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20, create an account, deposit at least $20 and get a free 20. It's totally legal everywhere. Do it.
Indeed. Good time to bet. And the markets are heating up with the elections coming around the corner. And Mark, you're right. I mean, we got to get Donnie on the show because I'm not sure if he's ever going back to China at this rate.
Fuck no.
Because
he'd be insane to go back. I like Donnie a lot, and I'm gonna lose some respect for Donnie unless he goes to like Singapore or something. Like he can't go back to mainland China. They're gonna fucking throw him in a prison.
Well, here's another reason he can't go back. Just when you thought 2020 had enough bullshit to deal with, coronavirus, murder hornets, riots, the oldest and craziest presidential candidates in the history of the country. Well, here's one more, and it's not that big of a shocker, actually. It's just another virus headed everybody's way from China.
Right.
So basically, they've discovered a new swine flu in China. The last one, if you remember, was H1N1 from Mexico in 2009. And this one is G4 EA H1N1 from China. It is carried by pigs, and it's transmittable to humans. And it's got the same traits that could make it another pandemic, like the original swine flu if it were to break loose and spread.
Oh,
Pigs to humans. Pigs to humans. So just real easy.
Judging by the letters, this one sounds worse.
G4 sounds strong. Sounds like a real strong.
We got G4 and
starter.
EA on there. No one knows what that means. It's just a lot more letters, which means probably tougher virus.
Scary.
Bigger name.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but at the same time that we already can't get anybody to wash their hands or wear a mask for coronavirus, then once we have the vaccine, who knows how many people are actually going to take it, so it may not even work anyways. And then, I was thinking maybe instead just bring in the swine flu now, since we're already dealing with the new outbreak of corona, get the swine flu in, maybe everybody can just deal with it really quickly and we could have a football season after.
China on their super popular app is, with all the shit that's going on, asking people what they had for pasta a lot recently.
Yeah. How many times can China say,
I fucked that up, but you know what I meant.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, this is a pasta situation, right?
It's a big pasta situation.
It's not great, but let's take it to the internet and see what the real people feel about this story, which a lot of people say is just fear-mongering. Because, again, it has not exploded. It is just a newly discovered thing that could explode. So Joan Wilson on Facebook, she says, it's being done on purpose. You can thank Obama and Biden for this. So Joan says it's a Democratic conspiracy by the Democratic Party to release pandemics across the the world.
That's fucked up of them. Thanks a lot, Obama. That's not cool.
I'm never one to doubt Joan, but I'm curious. I don't see the motivation here, but I'm gonna take Joan at her word.
Well, what's the world economy for one election, Pat? I mean, what really? What is it? Next, Nicole Drake. She's on the other side of the fence. She says, "Yup. Just another attempt to keep people from the polls this fall. Instill enough fear, and they will stay home out of fear, and you can make up the numbers." So that's a voter suppression one. Typically a Democratic argument. I'm guessing she's saying Trump created it.
But the making up of numbers, that's also confusing.
Do these people on both sides that think it's a political thing just think that the other 8.5 million people that contracted it and 380,000 people that died and the rest of the world are in on it too for the United States election?
It seems like there's people on both sides that believe all diseases are fake.
That think that nothing exists outside of their the United States.
I believe they're called Christian Scientists.
No, both sides though. It really is interesting.
It's definitely both sides.
Anyhow, next up, Dan Powers. This is a man who's taken both sides into account, and he says, stop clicking, stop watching. We don't watch news in this house anymore. It's sad because some of the local stuff was good. Until we all stop watching, it will never change. So he's doing the ostrich head in the sand.
Man, that guy would love Hard Factor. Someone tell that guy about Hard Factor.
That's true. If anybody's friends with Dan Powers, he's a top fan on Facebook. Let him know that there is one show that he could laugh at.
I bet Dan made that comment via voice text without looking at his screen, is my guess. It's hard. It's hard for Dan to both practice his message and spread it.
You wouldn't believe it. The grammar on the Facebook comments,
not good.
Not always top notch.
Oh man. I wonder how that cursive is. Guys, it's summertime in the UK, which means that the 94-year-old Queen Elizabeth and the rest of the royal family, with the exception of Harry and Meghan, of course, have taken up residence at their summer home in Scotland at Balmoral Castle in Aberdeenshire. Is it Shire or Shire, Andrew?
Shire.
Sure. Not the
Aberdeenshire.
Sure. We're not hobbits. We don't live in the Shire. Right?
That's right.
Yeah,
it's Aberdeenshire. Yeah. Excuse me. Thank you, Andrew. Guys, things are more or less the same with two notable exceptions because of COVID. The first being pretty much all the public facilities are shut down, which include public bathrooms. The second being that because of social distancing guidelines, pretty much the only thing people can do socially is to be outside. And this is creating a perfect storm of sorts for the staff members who look after the numerous public paths and walkways on the 50,000-acre Balmoral estate. And that storm, guys, is people taking an unprecedented amount of shits right on the Queen's doorstep. I'm talking thousands and thousands of dumpers right on the royal family's proverbial cheerio welcome mat.
No, they wouldn't do that to the Queen.
Oh, it's everywhere, bro. It is everywhere.
Hey, I'm crowning.
Yeah. In public, are other people watching? How have they not fixed the toilets yet?
Well, they can't open them, Will. It's not that they're broken. They're just not open because it's a public service. So the land is open, but the toilets are locked.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But aren't there other places to poop besides the front door?
Well, it's a 50,000-acre estate. I mean, they're not literally pooping on the front door. They're just pooping on the estate.
Oh, so it's like a poop Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, totally. Easter, man, must have been great there. It seems that, guys, it's not the biodegradable British dumps that are getting the go to the staff. It's that the always prepared British are naturally bringing wet wipes for after they assume the royal knighting position. And these wet wipes are not biodegradable and assumedly must be picked up by someone. An angry staff
and stained. Yeah, I mean, the wet wipes are a little bit dirty.
Yeah, very stained. Are all these people homeless?
No, these are just normal Brits cruising around.
Okay, this is a crime. This is a crime of boredom.
Yeah. Well, they want to go outside, Will, and then nature calls. You know when you get in the woods sometimes and immediately you feel that feeling? Guys, the staff issues...
No, I've never gone to a picnic and then if like the public restroom wasn't available, like shot in the middle of the park.
It's a crime of boredom. They have nothing to do. So like, let's go shit on the Queen's yard.
But Mark, you hadn't adjusted your standards at that point. You thought there was a possibility for you to find a toilet, therefore you held it. Once that opportunity is removed from the scenario...
I would have gone home. I would have held it and gone home.
It's a big estate, buddy.
Okay.
It's a big estate. Guys, the staff issued a statement on Twitter complete with pictures of soiled wet wipes saying... Disappointed to see so many wipes discarded on the estate today, next to paths and monuments. Please remember there are no public toilets for miles around at the moment. People are choosing to relieve themselves right next to busy paths or monuments, rather than just move a little bit further away to avoid contamination. If you need to defecate, do so as far away as possible from buildings, paths, watercourses, and farm animals. Bury your feces in a shallow hole and replace the turf.
And don't wipe. Don't wipe.
Well, guys, the dumping in public rules mirror those of the nation's national sport of golf, which was invented just 100 miles away or so down the road.
Couldn't they just pay a couple people to open the fucking bathroom?
I think that's what it's coming to, Will. I think they're going to have to, yeah.
Replace your divots, William. Let's take it to the internet, guys. Lena C says, here's a thought. Maybe if everyone kept their asses at home, they could shit there and not in the woods where they have no business being at the moment. And then Alpha
Does a Brit shit in the woods?
Yeah. Alpha Charlie says, given that at royal family, over generations took the liberty to shit all over Asia, Africa, Australia, and North America, this is a minor case of bad karma with the poop emoji. I say swamp all their castles, palaces with poop from the colonies. And then...
Okay. Alpha Charlie's got a point there. 2020 is the year where people in castles are really getting exposed.
Castle Doctrine.
Multiple castle exposures on this episode. So.
I mean, the Queen is getting off pretty easy comparatively to what's going on in the States with people with castles. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Just a couple turds.
It's a more cheeky version of the same.
I mean, if you have a fucking high rise in Seattle, you're out of luck. You're out of an apartment.
Taylor C. brought Epstein into the chat saying maybe it's a message about Andrew raping little American kids while on vacation and how they feel about it.
Oh, shit.
And then Sheila Attorney Miller says, put a portage on here and there or shut it down. It's disgusting, or at least take your wipes with you. And to that, Sheila, I say no. No.
No, I'm with Sheila.
Wipes with you.
Open
No,
the
Sheila, I
bathroom up.
disagree. You don't take your wipes with you. Once,
Oh, right. No, not that part. Toss your wipes.
No.
But I'm saying open the bathrooms. Just open the bathrooms.
yeah.
Could you imagine someone's got like a pocket full of shitty wipes?
I mean, I get the coronavirus
that's-
is bad, but isn't it
all right.
worth like an open bathroom instead of a yard full of shit wipes? I mean,
You think, Will. All right, guys, I got a double chain fast food restaurant news update for you, or chain restaurant, I should say. Little Caesars, which makes pretty tasty pizza for an incredibly cheap price, don't at me saying otherwise, had to fire 2 employees in an Ohio store because they made an offensive shape with the pepperoni on a to-go pizza. You guys want to guess the shape?
No, there's only like 3 or 4 you could do with pepperoni.
You're right.
Oh,
You're right. You're
pentagram,
right. You're right.
pentagram.
You were right. It was swastika, an unmistakable swastika. Jason Laska was on his way home and was picking up dinner from his family when he grabbed a pepperoni from the hot and ready section. And again, if you're unfamiliar, which I assume is only because you don't have a Little Caesars nearby you,
Yeah.
because the
If you're
alternative,
unfamiliar with Little Caesars hot and ready, come on,
Yeah,
man.
It
the
literally, it's
alternative-
just pizzas that are just hot and ready, like the
And
the name says,
delicious.
for $5.
yeah, no one's not going to Little Caesars because they don't like it. It's because it's out of the way. Has to be. Don't at me. So yeah, $5 for an entire pizza. Well, the hot and ready section has those, and it's basically like a open the drawer, grab your pizza. Here's the cheese section. Here's the pepperoni section. Hit the bell. You check out. Right. So that's what it is. It's not like they make these pizzas for people in particular, unless they're running behind, and then you tell them you want a pizza and they'll make it for you. But Jason, he just walked in and grabbed one, and the one he grabbed had a swastika on it. So the pranksters were just doing it for no one in particular.
Is it swastika or swastika?
I don't know. Who fucking cares?
You say it
Swastika,
weird.
is that like a
Swastika.
SCH?
Do I say? Well, that's because I'm not familiar with it, because it's a really hateful thing that I'm not.
Do you think?
Not a
Do you
big
think
fan
these
of.
guys, because it was hot and ready? Do you think they were
You're
either
showing me
it's
else.
one of two options?
Swastika.
They could have been trying to get at Jewish people, or they could have been trying to find white power brethren. Because the hot and ready section is, as I say, it's
So,
Well, it's really
Yeah,
inexcusable, isn't it? I
They
mean,
were hoping someone came back and was like, "I'd like to order the pizza the way it was on Tuesday."
yeah, and then
Wink,
shitty brotherhood
and then a
is
wink.
formed. That could be.
Yeah.
You never know. I don't know.
Well, they admitted to it. They got fired. They apologized. They admitted to it. They think they were just punk kids. Second up, we got a Starbucks story for you. Is ZBT still sponsored by Starbucks? Do we know?
Probably. Yeah.
I think so, because
Of
they
course.
aren't going to like this story where I say Starbucks made a swastika pizza. Oh wait, that's the last one. My bad. They didn't do
Okay.
that.
Wasn't
They're fine. Starbucks. Oh, a barista made $80,000 in tips after being singled out online for refusing to serve someone without a mask. So Lennon Gutierrez, 24, was working at Starbucks and asked a woman not wearing a mask if she had one with her as its company policy. And, you know, they're not supposed to serve anyone without a mask. I'm pretty sure they have a sign outside that says so. So problem is, you don't ask Amber Lynn Giles if she has a mask and not get
right.
screamed at. You don't
Another
ask that.
Not
another
before a
mass
coffee.
escalation.
Yeah, so that's exactly what she did. She screamed at him and cursed at the young barista who was just doing his job, and then took a picture of him before storming off. She then made a Facebook post that said, "Meet Lennon," misspelled, "from Starbucks, who refused to serve me because I'm not wearing a mask. Next time I'll wait for the cops and bring a medical exemption." And then
Did
she put a
mean
picture up of
Lenin
him.
is in like
Vladimir Lenin.
Yeah,
the
his
first,
name was the guy's name was Lenin, but also is that how you spell the Russian?
she spelled it like John Lennon.
She spelled it like John Lennon. He spells it like the dictator, the first USSR. So she
can
So
tell
she got
she-
it wrong.
she
She
fucked
had
it
the
up.
dunk lined up and she missed.
She
you can
fucked
tell
it
she
up.
didn't get her coffee either way with that spelling.
She fucked it up. Vladimir Lenin's Lenin. She fucked it up.
Okay.
That's how he spells his name. So she posted that with a picture of him saying, look at this fucking guy to shame him. But instead what happened is someone made a GoFundMe titled Tips for Lenin, spelled correctly, standing up to a San Diego Karen. And that garnered over $80K for the barista. So talk about your all-time backfires. That's a next level ratioing when you can quantify it in USD.
Yeah. Hey, real quick on the mask thing. what's the, like, look, lockdown ending and masks being used are totally separate things. I don't understand why they have to go hand in hand for everybody. You should use a mask even if you think people should be allowed to go places.
You should.
It reduces the transmission of coronavirus.
I agree with you, Will. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Quick reminder, we are here with you all week. That's today through Friday. Brand new podcast episodes because unlike some other shows out there, Hard Factor takes no days off. That's how you get to 464 shows in 2 years. Hey, guys, how do you get to Carnegie Hall?
Practice.
Also, yeah.
I was going to say, I got tickets comped to me one time.
Castle Doctrine also works.
Yes, Castle Doctrine, people with connections to comp you tickets and practice.
Yeah, famous dads, too. That can
famous
get you
dads. Knowing
Epstein could have gotten there, too. Dirt on people, that can get you there.
Sometimes bad people go to Carnegie Hall. Also, send in your stories for What the Fuck Wednesday tomorrow. Let us at them. But back to our hard work part of things. To reward us for our hard work, please spread the word that Hard Factor is the best news comedy podcast out there to people looking for ways to digest the news or looking for new podcasts. Because we will have ones for you 5 days a week, every week before you wake up in the morning. Do that, and please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Those are 2 things you can do for free that will help us. The third thing you can do, which is the most important, is have a great fucking day.